What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Vivian. This is my husband T.
Sup, people?
And so, yesterday we made 1 year married.
One beautiful year.
So, we decided that we were going to do this video just to talk about what our 1 year marriage was like, and also what we learned while being married. And as we all know, we are quarantined, and so we wanted to just talk about how that affected what our plans were for our
Yeah. I'm still pissed about that. Let's just get into it.
So we just want to talk about how we were affected. So do you want to start or you want me to start?
You can start.
Okay, so our first year of marriage, it was, it was good, relatively speaking. You hear, really, messed up my flow.
Cool, I needed this stuff. Go ahead.
So, I gotta start over.
No, you don't. Go ahead. Do you think?
So, the first year, it was good. I think that when you hear about the first year of marriage, I've often heard that it's like the hardest year. But I don't think.
What's the percentage of people that don't make it?
I don't know.
I hear it's high, but I don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think that it was fine, honestly. It was good. I mean, we started off just with personal stuff going on. Now be a separate video for another time, and people that know us.
I mean, we can get into it a little bit.
Okay, so little backstory. We got married March 30th, 2019. We were originally supposed to get married April 6th, 2019. So we pushed it up. What was that, a week?
Just about a week.
Just about a week, because my husband got sick and he was going to have to go through chemotherapy. And so he was in the military. He's retired now.
And I wasn't going to be able to travel, so.
Yeah. But instead of just pushing it back, because we could have did that too, but in the military, or if you don't know, they don't recognize girlfriends. So, God forbid, if anything would have happened, or to just have a say in his medical care, we decided to move the wedding up a week. And so that's how we started. We started with him going through chemotherapy and being sick.
Being in 2 different states, because at the time, I got sick at training in Ohio. So in the military, when you get sick, they don't just send you home. Like wherever you're at, they got to treat you there and they take over your care. So she was home in North Carolina. I was in Ohio and I couldn't get transferred here. And technically I was actually stationed in California. I was in the middle of transitioning back to North Carolina. So my home base was actually California. So if I was to go anywhere, it would have been back to California, which wasn't the best situation. So in order for her to have a say in my care, we had to get married, and then we had to push for them to keep us where I was. So and that worked out. That was pretty much the biggest reason that we didn't push the wedding back and decided just to go forward with it, was because of all of that. So on top of being newly married, we were in 2 different states.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot.
Yes. So it started out a lot, but overall the year was good. We didn't get to travel as much as we wanted to because of everything going on, but we have our whole lives to do that. So
Well, I don't know. This coronavirus, I ain't trying to go.
well, besides that,
I'm not trying to go too far now.
right, which will also get into how the coronavirus messed up our plan to go on our 1 year anniversary trip.
Which was supposed to be our honeymoon, but I was sick, so we couldn't go on the honeymoon. Yo, it's a lot.
So we didn't have a honeymoon. We didn't have a first year anniversary trip. But other than that, really, it's been fun. It's been eventful in other ways. It's been a learning experience. It's been growing together and separately. It's been just figuring everything out and, doing it the way we want to do it, figuring it out how it works best for us. So, yeah, what is your thoughts on the first year of marriage?
It was cool. I mean, we were together for like 5 years, so I won't say that. I know you pretty well. So I think it wasn't nothing that we wasn't going to be expecting.
I think that's important to mention. Yes.
Yeah. As far like marriage, I think it was cool. I think we have grown a lot since. I think what we went through in the beginning, like throughout the spring and summer of me being sick and all that, I think that built a stronger bond. But I mean, we were always pretty straight, so I don't think there's nothing like, I don't know. Yeah.
Just going off of that, it's when you get married and then people are saying, how does it feel to be married? And it's just like, to me, it felt the same because we had been together.
Yeah.
We had been together, so
it felt, it's
different, but the same.
I can't explain the difference. I don't know how
yeah.
I can't explain the difference.
So it was different, but the same. That's how, I don't know if that really makes sense.
I never know how to answer that question. People ask me, I wake up next to her every day. I was waking up next to her before that. So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only thing that really made a difference is like transitioning from saying my boyfriend to my husband. It would be like, my husband. Me ask my husband or something like that. That was the major thing is when.
No, that's a big one. It's more stuff that I would. I'm sorry. That I would do, like, right, and not think about it, like, oh. But now it's like if something comes up, oh, let me check with my wife. Let me check with.
Don't bring that up yet.
Let me check with Viv.
That's not my thing.
Oh, well, let's get to that then. That's a good segue. Let's get to that. Yeah, let's do that. There you go. I'm a lot, as you can see.
That's not gonna go in there. Anyways. Okay. So before we start talking about the things that we learned, I want to just talk a little bit about, like we brushed on it, but just a little bit about how the coronavirus and being quarantined just affected our plans. Now make sure you edit that out. So we were planning and we were ready for our trip away. And so not only did we have to cancel our trip, but we couldn't even go out to eat or, go to anywhere, somewhere as simple as Dave and Buster's. So
Dave and Buster's?
I mean, just as simple as Dave and Buster's. What I'm saying is, we're in the house, and we didn't do much. We just chilled, which is what we've been doing. But it's just, what am I trying to say?
We were planning the trip, and we had the vacation time. We had it all planned out, flights, hotels, all that, and then the world decided to go crazy. That's the best way I can explain it. So, of course, safety first, especially me having autoimmune disease and everything. It didn't make sense to continue the trip. So
attempt to continue.
Not even like when it first broke, we were like, oh, maybe we could still, flights were cheap. So I was like, oh, maybe we could still go. And then a few days later, I was like, nah, this is kind of bad. And as you can see now, if you watch the news or anything, it's really bad. So I'm glad we made that decision to like not go. It kind of had me depressed and all because you got to remember, I was sick all last summer. So we really couldn't do much. and we didn't. For that, we had to postpone our honeymoon. So I was like, all right, this 1 year trip, it could be all that. And again, we got to postpone it again. And it's like, damn. So yeah.
We're going to get there eventually.
Shit, I hope. But yeah, so, I mean, it's one thing. You just roll with the punches, I guess. But it hasn't taken away from our first year of marriage at all. We still find a way to have fun and enjoy ourselves in the house. Yeah, so
quality time.
Quality time. And actually, these last few days have made us slow down because we're busy and always on the run. Like I'm filming a lot of stuff, I'm working, so I'm always out of the house doing stuff. So having this time actually to slow down, I feel like, and just be here has been great. I consider it a blessing actually, because we can just focus on us more, which is good. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna talk about what we each learned in our first year of marriage. So you want to do like I go, then you go?
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Okay. So one of the first things I think I learned or paid more attention to is us being united as one in front of everybody else or in situations. So it's like before where we were just, boyfriend and girlfriend, it was easier, I want to say maybe, to just make a decision and then fill him in later, or not really have the conversation. But I think as a married couple, it's important that we both have the conversation, that we come to that decision together. So we live in North Carolina. Our family, the majority of them are like in New York. We got, some family in California and various other places, but they're not here. We have family here, but most family is not here.
Right.
So when we're making the decisions of holidays to go to or events to make or trips to take, it becomes important that we have the conversation together. Okay, like, can we do this? Is it possible? Can one of us go and one of us stay? And making sure that we're having that conversation and we're presenting it as one. And so that's one of the first things I learned, is making sure that it doesn't seem like one of us is making a decision for the other person. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. Especially we both have big families, so it's like that's the thing. Start like from jump is realizing you can't please everyone, and everyone wants to see us, and it's like, okay, I know you got this going on, but I can't make that because I'm committed to going to see my in-laws or
vice versa.
Yeah, so navigating that has been fun because one, we're not used to that. Like, we're used to somebody calls me up, oh, I'm gonna be there. Someone calls Viv up, oh, she's gonna be there. But now it's like, wait a minute, I said we got this to go to. So yeah, so just figuring out what we can and cannot go to is definitely something that we work out. We have a calendar now, and it's like, for us, going to New York is something that we have to do on the regular, right? Because her family's there, my family's there, all the events are there. So what we try to do is go, if I have something there and she has something there, then we block off a time frame where we can go, so we're not taking some, because these flights ain't cheap, so we try to do it like that. And unfortunately, that means we miss some stuff, but it is what it is at this point,
And also with us being united as one, I read somewhere where it says something like, correct them in private. So if we're out, let's say with a group of friends or family or something, and he says something or I say something that we might not necessarily agree with in that moment, it's backing them up in that moment, and then like behind closed doors saying, maybe you could have did it this way, or that wasn't the right way to do it. Next time, maybe we can go about it this way. So it's like, in that moment, we're on the same page. And then, you know, making whatever adjustments we feel either of us have to make after. Right? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. I think that leads into mine, what I learned thing, which is like fighting is good. And it's not, I'm not saying have a full-blown argument, but every day is not going to be perfect, and things come up and things happen, and it's okay to fight or argue or have a disagreement, and life moves on. But when you don't say something or and you kind of hold things in, it's bad. So fighting is okay, fighting is good. If somebody came to me and said they had a perfect marriage and they're not fighting, I know they're lying their ass off, because that just ain't true. And going along with that whole fighting is good thing is watch who you take advice from. Me, I don't know what it is, but I don't like taking marriage advice from people who ain't married. It bothers me. Like, it really bothers me, because I don't know. It just bothers me. It's like,
I think,
I mean, I get it. You're trying to be helpful, but you're really not at the same time. It's weird. I'm sorry.
I don't think it's not being helpful, but it's like, how can you help me without experiencing it, I guess is the way to say it.
Yeah.
It's, which is another thing that I've learned, is learning to communicate and argue or have conversations internally versus externally. And I've never really been big on bringing my problems to other people in general. So I never really did that, but it's just making sure that the advice that you're getting, if you ever have to get the advice, is coming from a certain level of experience.
And understanding. Yeah.
To understand what it's like. Because...
And I'm not saying single people don't have that experience.
Right.
But, I don't know. Sometimes,
I think things change. And I think even, like with us, is learning that... it's learning that when you go from being boyfriend and girlfriend to being husband and wife, things are a little different, and the way that you approach things are a little different. Because if it's one thing that the one thing I can say is that when you're boyfriend and girlfriend, you're invested, because the hope is that you're invested in your relationship. But that's a whole lot easier to just be like, I don't have to do this, and be gone, or, you know, make a decision like that. But when you're married, it's not like you're forced, but it becomes a little bit different when you have to say, okay, like, this is not just some guy I'm talking to, like, this is my husband, or this is my wife. And you have to take a look, you have to take a step back and really say, okay, you know, this is who I'm going home to. This is who I agreed to spend my life with. And so how can we work this out together? Because ultimately, you shouldn't be fighting each other. You should be fighting the problem together. So it should be me and you, or me and him against the problem, not me against him or him against me. So that brings me to my next thing that I learned, which is picking my battles. And I think that goes more so into the little fights or the little things that don't necessarily have to be anything. It's as simple as when I come home, you know, if I'm expecting a bed to be made but the bed's not made, do I say something, or do I just let it go?
Let it go.
So it's become, you know, just picking and choosing what's worth it and what's not worth it. Because at that point, for an example of making a bed, the bed hasn't been made all day, so what would be the reason? Damn. Okay.
Get some What is it?
So, what would be the reason to bring it up now? And it also goes into making sure that as fast as you mention a flaw or mention something that's wrong, you also mention what's right. So, just using the bed as an example, because that's one of my biggest pet peeves. If for 2 days he hasn't made the bed, but then the one day I come in and the bed is made, then it's like, babe, I seen you made the bed. So it's acknowledging the effort that was put forth.
I feel like you treating me like a kid right now.
No, not. It's not. No.
First of all, I do make the bed. She just don't like how I make the bed. That's a different conversation.
Right. Mm-hmm. But my point is acknowledging the effort. And I use the bed as an example, but that's in anything. It's if I mention something that I like or I like something a certain way, and then he starts doing something that way. It's acknowledging that he heard what I said, or vice versa. If he likes something a certain way, and then I start doing it because I know that it makes him happy or it makes me happy, it's acknowledging that the effort was put forth and not just always acknowledging the negatives or what wasn't right or what wasn't done the way you wanted it to do or when you wanted it done.
Right.
Right.
What's next?
You gotta go.
Oh, where we at? Oh.
He did this one. So just one of those.
Oh, I'm just gonna go with that one, yeah. What I learned. Oh, that we're our own people still. And meaning by that is like, there's some things that she likes to do that I hate doing, and there's some things that I do that she hates doing. We do encourage each other to try those things, but we're not forcing each other to do things. Like, plus it helps like just get away sometimes, because like I said, sometimes every day ain't peachy. So sometimes just having those things that you do by yourself is cool, and important. And then it's something to talk about later, because when you're in the house all day, there's only so much conversations you can have before it's like, all right, well, cool, then you start talking about nothing. So, remember that you're still your own person. You're a unit, you're one together, but you have your likes, your partner has their likes, and in the end, it's something to talk about later. So,
yeah,
that's all I got, though. Yo, what is going on?
It's like stuck in my.
Lord.
I think I said all of it.
I don't know how long this video is gonna be, but
okay, wait.
It's gonna be long. So if you still watching, thank you.
Okay, and so just to go off of what he said about we are still our own people, it's just remembering that. I think, and I can't speak for other people, but for people who may be thinking about getting married or whatever, becoming one does not mean that you're not two, if that makes sense.
I think that's exactly what I just said.
Is it?
Not kind of.
Oh.
I get what you're saying.
Okay. I don't know. We don't have to put that part in there. I think that's it.
Y'all like this little conversations from the couch format? I think we'll keep doing it. Different stuff. I think it'll be cool. Much shorter than this though, because this video I feel like is gonna be very, very long. So.
Oh, it shouldn't be.
I think so.
But if you do, hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't already, subscribe. Write a comment. If you got any questions, comments, we're open to that. Yeah, so just rock with us as mainly I, because this is
I'm just in here.
But just rock with me as
in and out.
Yeah.
In and out.
Just rock with me as I learn the ins and outs of this YouTube thing. And yeah, that's really it. That's all I got. So like, comment, subscribe, and if you got some friends, direct them here. That's all.
Peace.